Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, June 27th to Saturday, July 3rd. So last week was a doozy. We had 6 different cosmic events happen back to back. The energy was pinging. We were on a roller coaster, starting with Jupiter going retrograde. Only hours later, we had the sun move into Cancer season, triggering the summer solstice for us here in the Northern Hemisphere and the winter solstice for those of us in the Southern Hemisphere. Regardless of where you're at in the world, you would have felt the shift, you would have felt the change. We are definitely moving into a brand new season where there will be a lot of changes, a lot of initiating, a lot of experimenting. Why? Because we're in alignment with following our heart and soul, our soul's purpose, our soul's mission. There are things ending in order for things to begin, and we're in this very awkward adjustment period where we're still trying to figure out what is going on. We did get a lot of clarity, really, although the pieces are still coming together. Mercury going direct definitely brought our mental planes back online. We're sorting through all that has transpired. We're accepting the truth for what it is, and we're learning how to integrate these new realities into the path that we're currently walking. We had Saturn sextile Chiron triggering a huge karmic release point, followed by the full moon in Capricorn that drove that release point to the ceiling. We are still kind of feeling the energy from this full moon in Capricorn. It was super, super intense. The very first full moon event that we are having outside of eclipse season. And it definitely put the focus on what it is we have to disconnect from, what it is we have to detach from, where it is that we need to balance the scales between the roles and responsibilities going on in our home life and in our career. This is very much about finding stability, creating new systems and foundations, not only in our home environment with our personal relationships, enforcing and implementing boundaries in order to take care of ourselves, but recognizing where it is that we're no longer attached to certain systems, foundations, and structures where our career is concerned, where our financial responsibilities are concerned. This is a time of growth. It's a time of advancement, but we have to make room for the new things that we're looking to try to manifest. We can't talk about the week without wrapping it up with Neptune going retrograde, triggering a 5-month internal journey where the universe is throwing a bucket of water on us, really waking us up, slapping those rose-colored glasses off of our face so that we can face the truth. There's a lot of spiritual alignments coming into play. There's a lot of karma being released and re-triggered, and Neptune in retrograde is definitely going to help us with the inner renovation that's currently going on inside of us so that we can get rid of the egoic attachments and align in a much stronger pattern with our soul's purpose and with our soul's mission. So to wrap up what was a very intense week, we had Venus really pushing home the life lessons that she was trying to teach us while she spent her time in Cancer. She is going to be moving into Leo here today, and this is going to bring a brand new energy, a brand new focus on where we need to bring happiness and joy and playful energy back into our lives. So what do we got going on this week? We do have Venus making that very powerful shift into Leo. She's about to chase down that masculine divine energy of Mars already in Leo. There's going to be some fireworks. There's going to be some soul connections. And of course, we are given a new platform to start experimenting with what it is that we want to do next. We do have the last quarter moon taking place this week as well. It's going to be taking place in Aries on the very first day of a brand new month. We're going to dive into that and what that's going to mean for us. And we do have a little bit of an aspect taking place between Jupiter and Uranus, which is just going to open our minds and give us permission, the green light go, to take a major step forward, a major move. that we are going to definitely be growing and expanding on our current opportunities. Why? Because that Uranian energy zaps us with an aha moment, a perspective changing moment where we can't unknow. We can only move forward. So let's jump into it. Let's see what this week has in store. So some ascension symptoms that we can expect for the week. Well, what we have to consider is, first and foremost, the big players on the stage this week. Definitely the moon, definitely Venus. Venus and Mars are actually going to take over center stage here. Again, the masculine and feminine divine energies spend a lifetime chasing each other throughout the cosmos, only meeting each other and truly connecting with each other at very rare times. They're gaining momentum. The gap between them is closing. This is a very exciting time to really balance the scales. Again, we are moving into July. July is the number 7th month, representing balancing the scales within us and in our realms, especially where relationships are concerned. This is going to really ignite for us a lot of anxiety. No, anxiety doesn't feel good. No, irritability and anger doesn't feel good. Frustration doesn't feel good. But, we are having to slow things down and take one step at a time, which doesn't feel good right now. We're so ready to move forward that we just want to put our jetpacks on and just be there already. And so we have still very much the moon, or the sun and the moon put into water signs, which is going to heighten our emotions, heighten our intuition, heighten our subconscious. The sun in Cancer still doing a number on our digestive systems. Again, we can go from being all bound up, holding on to, the toxic stuff within us, the toxic past, the toxic memories and feelings, and not see a healthy flow in our digestion. And then all of a sudden we get too full. We reach a breaking point where all of a sudden the floodgates open and a huge release is very much needed. And then we can't stop, right? A lot of this is coming from the fact that Mercury is coming online and becoming a little bit stronger as well. And with the more information that comes in, with the more perspectives that are changing, that is new things to digest. And our digestive system is either all the way on or all the way off. I want you to think of the water again, right? You can have a very calm, picturesque, mirror-like surface on the water, or it could be choppy as hell. It could drown you. And this is very much what we're experiencing all throughout Cancer season, is having to ride the wave. And that riding of the wave comes with bouts of anxiety and worry. And that is that, chakra system that affects our digestion. So with the digestion on tap, again, Mercury's getting stronger and stronger. Our thoughts are racing. We are gaining more clarity. There are more aha moments coming in. Uranus energy is very strong this week. And because Venus and Mars are on deck, there's a lot of action going on in our physical realms, right? Venus, of course, rules over routines and relationships. There's a lot of changes happening there. Money matters, a lot of changes happening there. Planning for the future, which of course each and every day with new perspectives changing, new information coming, more cycles beginning, we're constantly having to revisit and revise how it is that we are moving forward. So Venus is very much the heart chakra. We talked last week that the heart activations were more warm and fuzzy, right? Aligning with dreams and aligning with situations that make our hearts, kind of open a little bit more and explode a little bit more. Keep in mind, we're still working on breaking down those walls that we built around our heart chakra at one time, trying to protect us from being hurt, recognizing now that they're acting more as a prison instead of, a safety measure. And with the heart chakra being activated, a lot of it is coming out of anxiety. And a lot of it is coming out of anger and frustration from not being able to move as fast forward as we would like. But nonetheless, anger and frustration is a very powerful emotion. and has the ability to kind of cut the bullshit a lot quicker than if we were to hold on to that sentimental value of, being nostalgic and looking back at the past. And there's an ebb and flow that has to happen here. We take one step forward, we take one step back. We take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. So we are gaining a little bit of momentum, but the frustration and the irritability of not going fast enough is definitely being replicated in our heart space. And where Mars is concerned, this is about action. This is about our head space. Mars rules over Aries. Aries rules over the head. And the head right now is very connected to our egoic identity. We are now in a time and in a season where we're having to rely more on listening to our higher selves, listening to the divine intelligence of the cosmos. But yet you have all of these Mars activations trying to say, oh, screw that. We don't care about the big picture. We care about now. We want to be happy now. We want to do what we want now. And again, with the social obligations coming up and the karmic contracts coming up, really putting a pressure on us to consider more than just ourselves, we are feeling a lot of tension. We are feeling a lot of aggravation. It literally can make your blood boil. I want you to pay attention to your heart racing, whether it is out of excitement or out of anger. We have to pay attention to the activations taking place in our physical bodies, because that is where the energy exchange in the new light codes that we've downloaded is pushing the old ones out. We also want to take a look at the fact that, yes, the moon is on point. Yes, Mars is on point. Yes, Venus is on point. But Jupiter and Uranus and Pluto really have a major contributing role to play this week. So Jupiter, of course, is about growth and expansion. However, we're doing the growth and expansion inside of us because Jupiter is currently retrograde. And, you have Pluto, who is about death and destruction, taking us into the shadow part of ourselves to see where it is that we're very happy being miserable and complaining and not really willing to make a change about it. And so we have to factor in that this Uranus energy that zaps us every single time we hit a block affects the central nervous system. This is, shaking, tremors. This is anxiety. This is, feeling the electricity just pulse through you. Again, the electricity could be ignited by excitement, but it could also be ignited by anger. So we want to watch out how we're actually manifesting physically these energies that we are bringing into our light bodies that, of course, we are trying to reconfigure and integrate with, mind, body, and soul. So the last thing that I want to talk about as far as ascension symptoms go, I want to remind you that we are currently being birthed into a new reality. So I want you to imagine how scary it is for the baby coming out of the mama, coming down the birth canal, hearing all the screaming, seeing all the bright lights, and using our throat chakras for the very first time when we take that first breath of air into our lungs and we just scream to let people know that we're alive. Our throat chakras are being activated in a big way. Mercury has a lot to do with that. He rules over the throat chakra. We have new truths to speak. We have new energy to root in. We have to let people know that we're alive, that we're here, that we need our attention. Mars being in Leo, Venus being in Leo, just this Leo energy, just this Leo energy representing the heart and the soul, roaring to the jungle that we are the king, we are here, pay attention to us. This is going to be activated in us. We have a lot of conversations that we need to have in our personal relationships in order to clean up the mess that was made. Whether this provides an ending and a closure to a soul contract or whether it is just smoothing things over, it doesn't matter. You have to speak your truth. So you might find that this is a different kind of roller coaster because it's very emotional this week. We are emotionally charged. We're in an emotional season. We have to rely on our emotions and our intuition to trigger something in us in order for us to use our voices, use our power, use our authority to define what it is that we are no longer standing for, to define what it is that we want, need, and desire, and to take the opportunity when presented to us to take 2 steps forward, even if we know we might have to take 1 step back.